So today I want to wade into slightly murkier waters, the world of shilling and sponsorships. Now, I should start by saying that I'm pretty purist when it comes to gear. I only really like stuff that's genuinely great, or at least really great for my own needs. And over the year I found that cheap and cheerful kit tends not to stand up to the rigors of professional use. It might work for a weekend hobbyist, and that's fine, or maybe even prosumer. But in my world, reliability is probably just about the most important thing. If something fails mid-shoot, it doesn't just ruin my day, it can ruin a client's trust, which is a one-way ticket basically. But one of the things I've found is that even at my current Pico influencer scale, I'm not sure if that's the technical term, but I get plenty of opportunities to hawk slightly sus no-name kit. Emails come in constantly for brands I've never heard of offering a collaboration that usually boils down to, we'll send you a $50 accessory and you make a video. Now, I don't just want to poo-poo all of this cheap gear without trying it, and there definitely might be the occasional gem in there, completely overlooked by me. And I'm also aware that I'm in a very privileged position and can afford to be really choosy with the gear that I buy. And as such, I usually buy from more reputable manufacturers with great track records. And that's not something that everyone is in a position to do. I think the point that I'm trying to make is that you're very unlikely to see me shill some rubbishy accessory just because it was free. The flip side is, like a lot of us in this line of work, I acquire kit at a reasonably frequent rate. And sometimes, if I'm being really good, I even get around to selling the older kit. But there are situations where it might actually make sense. If I'm about to buy something anyway, or if I'm planning a project where I need a particular bit of gear, then I might look to have a conversation with a brand. And sometimes they actually reach out, or I reach out to them. And I think if the fit is right, then there's an arrangement or sponsorship kind of setup that might actually make sense for the channel. A really good example of this for me is Deity microphones. I brought my first Deity mic back in, I think, 2020. And since then, I've got a few more in the kit. I've pretty much destruction tested them, and now they're an essential part of my workflow. And I was umming and ahhing recently about picking up the new S-Mic 3S. I already have two S-Mic 2S's, and they're brilliant. So while I was thinking about this, and it was a thing that I didn't necessarily need, because like I said, I already got two of the 2S's, but I spoke to Deity, and they offered to support me, which is completely brilliant. And so the relationship is completely loose, there's no real formalities, but it definitely works. I already use Deity on a daily basis and wouldn't hesitate to recommend them anyway. All my professional sound is recorded on Deity mics, so I'm genuinely happy to talk about why I would choose them over the competition. And the relationship doesn't lock me into Deity forever. For smaller jobs and less formal shoots, I quite often use the the DJI Mic 2, which is really excellent for what it is. But I think my point is that Deity supporting me and the channel really makes sense. It's gear I trust, gear I already use, and gear I wouldn't hesitate to recommend regardless of whether I had this partnership. Another good fit is Focus Rat. They make a product called the Rat Bag, which is essentially a competitor to the Cine Saddle. It's a category of camera support that I've actually always overlooked because I've got an Easy Rig, which costs an arm and a leg. But I'd always been slightly intrigued by it, and we've all seen endless SAC ads after all. So Focus Rat kindly sent me out a couple of items to test and keep, and I've got a video on that coming out on Thursday, exploring whether the saddle type support category is genuinely useful. I can tell you now, early impressions, I'm pretty sure the Rat Bag is going to get twice as much use as the Easy Rig, and it's a fraction of the price. So it's a win for Focus Rat, a win for me, and hopefully a little bit of insight for viewers. But not every offer works out like that though. Sometimes I get opportunities that look good on paper, but don't actually make sense once they're thought through. Dehancer is a perfect example. I've been a Dehancer user for about 2 years now, and I already purchased a lifetime license, and it's a plugin that I use constantly. Their influencer relations person reached out recently, offering me a 3-year pro license in exchange for making some content about the product. Here's the problem though. That license is completely worthless to me as I've already got one. So if they wanted me to create content specifically promoting their software, then it has to be worth my time to do so, if that makes sense. And that means they have to offer me something of equal or greater value to the work I put in. But the offer of a license that I already have kind of makes no sense. So don't get me wrong, it's a lovely gesture and really flattering that they thought to reach out. And they suggested maybe I could give it out to a friend. And I mean, that's kind of okay, and who doesn't want to be in a position to hand out freebies? But I kind of thought that if I'm the one putting in the hours of work to make a piece of content about it, and it also needs to be me the one that's benefiting from it. Especially when dehancer isn't exactly a hot trending topic that's going to drive masses of views to my channel. So I explained the realities to them and politely turned it down and left it at that. Maybe I could have handled it differently, maybe. But time is kind of precious. So if I'm going to make content outside of my usual lane, it really has to make sense. So all that said about my moral compass when it comes to sponsorships and brand relationships, I also have a confession to make, in as much as I recently slightly bent my own rules and have accepted a questionable partnership. Part of the deal is that I can't talk about the deal, which should tell you something straight away. That's a bit of a red flag. And another red flag is it's not technically filmmaking gear. So already this is a bit dodgy. But here's the honest truth. One of the items they sent me, I did actually want, and the other has a high enough retail price that I can probably repackage it carefully and sell it like new and claw a bunch of that value back. And it's not that the products are bad, they're not, but they're just not really things that I need and not things I'd normally cover in this channel. But nevertheless, I have agreed to make a little bit of a song and dance about them. So consider this a forewarning and a little bit of an apology. But the eagle-eyed among you may spot it when it drops. But that's, I think, the reality. YouTube for me is really fun, but it's not at all lucrative, not at the scale that I'm working at. And like I've said before, I don't really expect it to be, and I don't need it to be, I'm very fortunate. But sometimes the temptation to accept a deal creeps in. My pledge is to keep those moments to an absolute minimum. But if ever you see me reviewing a Temu haul and then selling half the stuff straight away on Instagram stories, you'll know exactly what's going on. What I want to stress is that I'm quite happy taking the slower route, the purest route, and I'm really happy turning down the majority of offers and only work with brands that fit me, my work, the channel, and I think fit you. And here's the thing. I know full well that plenty of creators lean heavily on brand deals to make YouTube sustainable. For some, it's the only way they can afford to keep making content, and I completely don't blame them. It's hard to fault someone for doing what they need to do to survive in this forum. But that's not the route I want to take for myself. I'd rather grow more slowly, and I'd rather focus on making videos that I really want to make without feeling like every week has to have an ad shoehorned in. I'd rather that when I talk about a piece of gear, you know it's something that I actually use, or at the very least, something I've tested extensively and found really worthwhile. What I do want to do is keep this channel as an honest extension of the professional work I already do. And if along the way I can build relationships with brands and people I genuinely admire, like Deity, like Focus Rat, then that's really brilliant. And I think it bodes really well for the future. So that's how I'm navigating the murky world of shilling and sponsorship for now. Keeping the rubbish off the channel, working with brands I trust, being transparent when something feels a bit murky, and taking a slower, more purist route. Thank you very much for watching. Today's episode is sponsored by this nice new insulated Yeti mug that Meg got me. That is great because I can have icy water and the condensation doesn't drip down and pool on the desk. Yeti, if you're watching, call me. See you Thursday.